Touching the number on troubled teachers, the majority of Tennessee teachers do a fantastic job for sure.
No doubt about that, but a Fox 17 investigation found more than 250 of them have had their licenses either suspended or revoked over the past 5 years for misconduct. Only on Fox tonight, the #1 reason Tennessee teachers get in trouble and what's being done about it.
It means multiplication. And when we're solving, we always undo.
We trust them with our most prized possessions, and teachers are among our children's first role models.
The trust and the professionalism that a teacher is expected to have in their communities is something that should never be abused.
But each year, records show that trust is abused in counties across the state. Over the past 5 years, more than 36 Tennessee teachers were suspended for drug and alcohol offenses, including Nancy Hall. She was a Metro elementary school teacher arrested last year for having a marijuana grow operation in her home.
What's my final answer going to be?
But there's an even bigger problem. State records show at least 100 Tennessee teachers had their licenses taken away for crossing the line with students. That includes everything from inappropriate text messages to sex. Those boundary issues now account for almost 40% of all teacher licenses that are either suspended or revoked.
This kind of thing is something that's totally inappropriate in our profession, and we do our best to provide warnings and training and advice to our members that would help them avoid any such questionable activity.
Jara Summerford is president of the 70,000-member Tennessee Education Association. She's painfully aware of this growing crisis. Summerford believes the popularity of social media plays a role in blurring the lines between teachers and students. And she's not alone.
It's disheartening.
Dr. Sabril Bennett is a journalism professor at Belmont University. She just finished a paper on social media and education. Bennett isn't convinced social media is drawing teachers over the line. She believes there have always been bad teachers. Bennett suspects they're just being discovered more now because there's an electronic trail to follow.
People have a permanent record of what you're doing, and therefore law enforcement, in many ways, it makes their job easier when people cross the line.
You've got to be quiet, somebody's going to hear you.
Facebook and text messages played a prominent role in former Portland High School teacher Sandy Binkley's statutory rape trial in 2009. Investigators found more than 3,200 electronic messages between Binkley and students, including the teen she was convicted of having sex with at school.
You can really create a lot of irreparable harm when you cross those boundaries.
Bobby Lusher is a former teacher and principal with more than 40 years in education. She's now in charge of the student-teacher program at MTSU, which produces more teachers than any other university in the state. Lusher says social media training for the classroom was added to the curriculum and teacher candidate handbook at MTSU in the past year, and she says they spend a lot of time on it.
You just have to keep talking with them and preparing them, offering real-life examples of this is what could happen. And this is your livelihood. This is your career.
But Lusher says it can be a hard sell because the students in college now are of the social media generation. They've never known a world without computers and text messages and instant interaction.
Now, boundary violations often result in the permanent loss of a teacher's license in Tennessee, but even if that revocation is temporary, it can take a teacher years to get back in the classroom.